This is the shortest I've seen it in quite some time.
Good for
I think
you.
this is even shorter than the last time we got a cub since we've been here.
Yeah. No, okay. Hold on.
You're munching.
I got it.
You're munching.
All right, I got chat up. What's up, chat?
No.
So, I've been shopping around for different haircut places over the past like couple months since we moved here to LA.
Yeah.
First place I went, really nice. They played. I can't remember the name of the artist, but it was something I'd never heard before. It was kind of like punky, grungy kind of stuff.
Frank Sinatra.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, they played some great grunge Frank Sinatra. Anyway, I go there as a barbershop, and after I'm done, because I get a shave and a haircut, they're like, okay, that'll be $130. I'm like, what? 130? Beep. I'm not allowed to swear yet.
You're good.
Anyway, so I go there. I'm like, okay, well, that was a pretty good haircut, but I'm not spending $130 on a haircut every month and a half, you know? Second place I go to like a Wild Cuts. It's really close, and it was like $20. But they gave me one of the worst cowlicks I've had in a long time, and it's still there. So I go to this different place, and it's called like Design something. Anyway, so I go there yesterday, and I tell the guy, I was like, yeah, could you give me like a 5 on the sides and give me like an 1.5 inches on top? And he just fucking goes for it. Like he just goes, and he starts like he does all the razor stuff, and he starts taking out the scissors, and he just keeps on going and keeps on going. I'm like, I'm like half asleep because I always fall asleep when I'm getting my haircut.
Okay.
It's just like it's like a massage, right?
Okay.
And then I look up, I'm like, this is the least hair I've ever had making this request.
Yeah.
Like for this haircut. Like I don't dislike it, but it's just like, wow, that was different.
No, you look good. Well,
I will say you look older. Like you look like in your not in a bad way, but it's just like, wow. Normally if you had your facial hair and this short amount of hair, you'd definitely pass like you're in your 30s.
That's the daddy mode.
Yeah, that's like Josh daddy mode right there. Engaged.
Wait, holy shit, Coco's in chat.
Coco, Cole Dambley.
Cole Dambley, he's an Emmy winner. Did you know that?
Yeah. We also have another Emmy winner over on production side, our producer, Manny.
Oh, I'm an Emmy winner by this avant-garde shot where I'm all the way on the right side. Hang on a minute.
Nice.
There we go.
That's not Wes Anderson.
We probably should keep you on the right side to hide the dead flowers behind you. At least we had flowers,
too
you know.
late.
Yeah.
I did get some tulips.
Also, this is the first time we're flying our lower third tag for a producer than the host. But welcome, everyone. Episode numero 12.
Yeah, well, it's not my fault you guys didn't introduce your stuff.
True.
Oh,
What?
Lucio's in here.
Lucio.
He's gone. He was
Lucio.
the template. There we go.
You know that
Manny, did you just spoil a future guest?
Nah, it was more just like who do I think is most likely for Cubby to want?
who can I use to suck up to Cubby the most?
Phrasing.
Well, it was your
Suck down.
podcast, so
Sucking up is, you don't have to say phrasing for that. Anyway, Marc, you got you just got the vibes going today with a guitar. You brought a guitar to a podcast.
I did.
I've never seen that. There are podcasts that have guitar. This is curious.
I don't even know if the chat can hear it because the microphones are not pointing to it. And you know what? I think that might be for the best.
That's kind of. I was going to say you did, but you know,
Let us know in
see
chat how
it's picked
much
up.
of the guitar you can hear. Also, I'm very tired. I just got done doing a workout because I was doing like the rowing machine, and then we had Steven Paul number 27 Steve in the world for Warhammer.
Number 4
Kangas come over.
Number 4 in Los Angeles for arm wrestling.
Yeah, number 4 in Los Angeles for arm wrestling. He came over and he showed me how to actually use the rowing machine. And yesterday, or whenever he was here, I was like, okay, wow, I can feel that more in my legs. And today I did like the full like 30 minutes. I'm like, holy
That's a lot of rowing.
fuck,
It's a lot of rowing.
my legs are dying.
I mean, I told you this off podcast, but I'll say it on podcast. Most MMA fighters, they will warm up with rowing machine because it's full body.
Yeah, I feel it in my thighs, and then I'm feeling it less now in like my arms and shoulders than I was when I started because
Yeah.
this is day 9 of every other day.
Good for you. I mean, eventually you got to get to 2 on 1 off. By the way,
I played
Oh,
soccer
yeah,
for the
we'll-
first
we'll
time
get there
since
someday.
September last night, and I am suffering similar pain. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Proud
I
of you.
also fell and ate shit and cut my knee open in the open field with nobody around me. So it's a great moment.
Oh yeah, Manny, when were we playing tennis?
Yeah.
We'd find time, yeah.
Okay.
Whenever.
Now
Well-
that the season has started, we have plenty of time.
Yeah.
I was just about to make that
Well,
transition.
Your guys' season doesn't start.
Yo, it does. No, hold on. We got a start date though.
We do.
2.5 more weeks of off season.
Well, so it doesn't start now. It starts in 2.5 more weeks.
I thought you had a segue out of that. I'm letting you go.
I'm just kind of letting Mark. I'm hoping Mark just like gets it out of his system now. You know.
I'm pretty sure you can hear almost nothing on stream, but I'm not positive. It's not really registering on the waveform.
That's
All right.
because we do have to talk about. We have some news.
Yeah,
We have some news, or are we talking about other people's news?
Our last show was before the announcements came.
Before like all the Challenger stuff came down, because I was gone for a week.
Okay. When you said that we had some news, I was like, we have news.
No, we as Challengers League.
Marc pregnant?
Congratulations, Mark.
Man.
E.
All right, guys, but Challengers is back. I don't know where we want to start with this because this like all happened today.
Let's start with Disguised Toast.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick.
Start with the teams dropping to begin with.
Ooh, do we want-
That was-
Oh, Tony Top is out.
We never.
The
no,
team.
No, I just
No,
mean, like,
I think he means like, and the big one that
We're
7 LCS orgs dropped their NACL teams after all 10 owners voted unanimously. We would like to remove the mandatory requirement to field an NACL roster.
Okay.
I was just wondering because if we wanted to start light and then get heavy,
Nope.
have a certain announcement.
It's like a workout. You got to do like a bunch of lighter stuff right at the end with no breaks in between and just burn it out.
I think let's just start current, and then we'll just we'll just jump off that, and like we can talk about the orgs when we get in.
I have the full Fugitive statement.
Oh, that's true. Do you want to fly this first for the
Yeah,
orgs
that's what I
leaving?
was- that's what I
Okay.
was wondering.
Okay,
You
we'll
guys wanna
start
talk
light.
about that. Yeah.
Manny, this tweet definitely 100% approved by ChatGPT.
Yes, sir. So basically, I did a tweet
Yeah.
this week. It is now my most liked tweet of all time.
Manny Manny decided to get a little bit frisky,
And basically, I thought that a lot of the NACL announcements, the teams were dropping their rosters, looked like they were AI generated. So I just asked ChatGPT. The prompt was like, write me a statement about Fugitive Gaming leaving or dropping their NACL roster in the LCS, and it was so hilariously close to what we actually got from teams that I was like, I'm not convinced that teams didn't do this because it was so funny. So do you guys want to see
I do.
So you guys have read the version that I posted, but that wasn't actually the full version.
Oh, there's more.
It gave me more of a like Cloud9 length statement than like a 100 Thieves length statement. So to make it all fit in the Twitter graphic, I had to combine like 3 of the word salad paragraphs
So
into one. And
You're saying that ChatGPT is like actually too smart for us because not only did they give an accurate longer statement, but it was also so good that you were able to shorten it easily and still have it work.
it was really good at saying nothing at all.
Nice.
Okay, so you're saying that we have to take a stand then. Is AI, is it going to come after all of us, or what does AI look like with this? If you want to fly it,
Yeah, here we go. So
let's rate AI.
probably,
Oh, God.
Although did that? Okay. our
This is the long
computer's
version.
Broken, but we're
Yeah.
not going to talk about that. So you want to read that out loud, or should I?
Do you want me to read it in an AI voice?
No, do a paragraph and then Josh take the next, and I'll go.
Okay.
Manny will go. We'll do that. Start it off, Mark.
After careful consideration and evaluation of various factors, including performance, strategic direction, and financial considerations, Fugitive Gaming has made the difficult choice to part ways with its NACL roster. This decision was not taken lightly. We'd like to express our gratitude and appreciation to the players, coaching staff, and the fans who have supported the team.
That was your TJ impression.
No. What? That That was my Morgan Freeman impression.
No,
It's
keep going.
definitely
Keep going.
closer to TJ. Participating in the NACL has been a valuable experience for Fugitive. However, the financial costs associated with maintaining a competitive roster at this level have proven to be unsustainable for our organization.
While we are saddened by this development, Fugitive Gaming remains steadfast in our commitment to developing North American talent. We recognize the importance of nurturing and supporting the growth of esports in our region. As such, we will be reallocating resources and focusing our efforts on alternative ways to cultivate aspiring players and contribute to the development of the North American esports scene.
Fugitive Gaming will explore various initiatives, including grassroots programs, talent scouting, and collaborations with local communities to identify and support emerging talents. We believe that by investing in the development of players from the ground up, we can contribute to the long-term success of North American esports and create opportunities for the next generation of competitive gamers.
We extend our thanks to the players and coaching staff who have represented Fugitive Gaming in the league. Your dedication and hard work have been commendable, and we wish you the very best in your future endeavors.
Only commendable.
To our passionate fans and supporters, we thank you for your unwavering loyalty and encourage you to stay tuned for exciting updates regarding our renewed commitment to fostering North American talent. Together, we can shape a vibrant and thriving esports ecosystem that nurtures our region's potential. Yeah, this fucking said absolutely nothing.
But it's so close to what teams
Dude,
actually put
yeah.
out. It's like crazy.
I feel like ChatGPT might be sentient because it just dropped a fat shit on a page.
Oh God.
You saw my tweet about like how to actually just like announce you're keeping your team, right? Instead of the way that the teams actually did it. Hey, we are choosing to keep our NACL team. We believe in the region. Send tweet.
No, honestly, okay, you know what the best video was though? It was TSM like making a heroic insurance ad about why they're gonna save the region by going to LPL. Like, I have no idea, like, why the tone of that video was like, we are still so determined to win world championships, and we haven't been able to do so here in NA. So we're going to go to
Yeah,
China.
because you haven't fucking tried in like 3
Because
or
you haven't
4 years.
spent any money. This is my favorite. This is part of the video, too. This is just uncanny. Apparently, it's from TSM Legends, but the fact that there was a hearse in this video is too memeable.
It's pretty good.
That's crazy.
That shit's learning to speak Chinese, buddy, right there.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So that was not the only thing that I asked ChatGPT.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to
But
ask
wait,
you guys
there's
to
more.
read if you guys would like to.
All right.
Oh, wait, can we do this in a Billy Mays voice?
I'm
But
about
wait,
to. I'm
there's
about
more.
to send it to the group chat.
Okay.
Basically, and I'd like you guys all to be able to see it live. I would like Raafaa to do it because I asked it to write.
He does have the best
I
voice.
asked it to write a rap about TSM selling their spot in the LCS.
Oh, God.
So this is a ChatGPT rap about TSM.
Holy shit! It's so long.
No way.
No,
Wait,
no,
no.
okay, got it.
This is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, listen up. I got a story to tell about a team that rose high.
No, hold on.
But now they fell. TSM, a legend in the League of Legends. But what? This doesn't even rhyme. What?
I think you're supposed to say perplexed.
Now they're making moves that got us all perplexed. TSM selling the spot in LCS, leaving fans wondering what's the real success. But let's not forget the glory they once brought. A legacy in esports can't be easily forgot.
I mean, it's true. Their name does get chanted in every event. So,
Yeah.
dude, ChatGPT is way too fucking
Oh,
smart.
This is so long. All right, Mark, you're next in the cipher.
I can't take this.
Yeah, copy.
All right.
Okay.
First two.
Reginald built an empire, the TSM brand. From Bjergsen to Doublelift, a star-studded band. But times are changing and decisions must be made. So they sold their LCS spot, a bold trade.
And I think at the same time we should not read the chorus every time because it happens.
my
in every fucking paragraph.
All right, Mark, come on, step into the cipher. You got this.
TSM.
No,
Don't read the
verse
chorus
three.
every
Verse three.
time.
What?
Verse 3.
It repeats the chorus like every other paragraph. So let's just skip the
Go to verse 3. Go to verse 3.
Oh.
Wait, oh, verse 3 starts out with such a banger.
They say it's about the money, the business side, but fans are left wondering what's their true pride. Is it in the trophies and championships they won, or in the balance sheets where dollars are spun?
ChatGPT fucking ripped TSM.
That's pretty fucking good.
Oh
Pretty
my
fucking good.
God.
Holy shit.
Oh my God.
Change is inevitable, that's just the way it goes. But TSM, remember, you're more than just those rows. Fans still stand by you through thick and thin, hoping this new chapter leads to victories again.
All right, hey Manny, can you clip the verse 3? Go back and clip
That's a
that
pretty
here in
good
a
verse.
sec.
I'll do my best.
Okay, here we go. Verse 4. So here's the TSM, a team that's made history. No matter the outcome, they remain a mystery. We'll watch as they move on a different path. Hope they'll find success and make a powerful comeback.
TSM selling their spot in the LCS, leaving fans wondering what's the real success. But let's not forget the glory they once brought. A legacy and esports can't easily be forgot.
TSM, you always hold a special place in the hearts of fans. Your legacy we embrace. No matter the changes, we'll remember your name and eagerly await the next chapter in your game.
I don't know about that last part.
Yeah.
Okay, verse 3 is
Verse 3 is
so...
fucking
Verse 3
fire.
was-
That's a
Holy
good
shit.
verse.
It's hilarious.
Holy shit.
So funny.
I
I just like
ChatGPT has no chill.
I fucking love the first half of verse 4. So here's to TSM, a team that's made history. No matter the outcome, they remain a mystery. It's
so
It's like, oh, fuck.
every day's banger TSM. That's what they say, right?
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh God.
Could you imagine if you had asked ChatGPT just to include the line, by the way, include
Imports.
every every day's a banger
Yeah,
TSM.
Manny's are the MVP of the podcast. Just throwing that out there.
Manny wins this
Dude,
week.
He's got it
How
for
much
this
do you
week.
pay
Walked
for
up.
ChatGPT?
It's fucking
It's
free.
free.
It's free?
Yeah, man. Why do you think all the college kids are like using it to write their
Yeah,
papers?
why do you think our jobs are getting replaced in a couple of years?
Trust
by
me, I would not
ChatGPT?
pay for it.
I mean, I'd pay for verse 3. Just
Oh,
throwing that out
I
there.
wasn't able to find a free version of ChatGPT just for like
Just
shit posting.
remind me after the show is over, and I will send you a link.
Nice. You're my goat.
Okay, so NACL. I guess we'll just start with the current events, right? What we know today. What was announced at 1 p.m. Pacific today.
The primer.
NACL is back. It is now a 10-team league. Those teams would be the 3 franchise teams that return. I'm going to try and do this off the top of my head, by the way. So let's see how good I am. Fly, TL, EG. The 2 teams that did well enough as a provisional team from spring to auto-qualify for this upcoming season. Those were Fear, who took 4th, and then Wildcard, who were, I think, 8 through 9 or 7-8 finish. Next would be the 4 teams that are in from the qualifying tournament. So those would be Maryville, Supernova, AOE, and it would have been Team Tony Top. They disbanded. I am told that, I don't know exactly how it worked, but Team Fish Taco's in that spot now. I literally asked our bosses, how did this work?
Rip to the greatest
And
logo since
they're like, we
Dragon.
can't describe
I
all of it.
know.
So I didn't get maybe we'll get this the full how that happened. But that is the team they lost or they beat in one of the best of 5s to get in. And then Disguised Toast is in. As that would have made 9 teams because there were 16, 7 dropped, right? So they just I believe that the owners voted on whether or not Toast could be in the league. It was agreed upon, and he's in.
Woohoo.
And I heard Toast was in around the time that he tweeted yesterday. So this was announced quickly after.
Yeah.
So that was the plan. Yeah. Also, there is so it is the same format as last summer, except instead of a 16-team playoff with 6 amateur teams, it is going to be an 8-team playoff only between Challengers League teams, and it's a double elimination bracket again, with best of 3s and 5s.
Woo.
Do we want to get into rev sharing, or do we want to talk about that first? Like the other things.
What revenue are they sharing is kind of my big question.
That is a great question.
Okay.
Right? So we did announce that we're doing Twitch subs
Yes.
and whatever else. There's some small amount of sponsorship money that's coming through.
Potentially. pretty much what Riot's saying is that Rally Cry is the production company. There are some segments where they can maybe look to sell sponsors. Anything that gets sold, there's going to be a...
Oh, shit. Whoople's in chat. Quick, everybody praised NACL.
Okay, yeah. Whoopley was...
Hi, Zach.
He's the boss.
He's not my boss anymore. I can say whatever I want. Hi, Zach.
So we have Moofy emotes. Moofy's a really good artist, by the way. Does a lot of emotes on Twitch. I don't know. Like, where do you guys want to start? Because there's a lot to cover. It starts June 10th, by the way. So we have 2.5 more weeks of off season.
Only 6 weeks instead of 7 for regular season.
Yes, it is still this double elimination or double round robin. Best of twos.
Which I do.
It is fun to see teams play twice.
I do prefer double round robin if possible, but
Yeah.
I also understand that it was not really possible for spring.
I think it helps teams
that
grow,
change.
actually,
Yeah.
to face a team again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things about like being in leagues or like going to like a tournament circuit over and
Yep.
over again is because like you're like, oh, we played these guys before, we know how they play, let's see if we can adapt. Instead of like having new opponents every time.
A good coach, especially in Dev League, can use that week to be like, all right, guys, we are just going to drill dragons all week. Because like maybe it's like because that's what the team's struggling at. Maybe it's like who the opponents are.
Yeah.
Or maybe last time they faced, we got our ass kicked in dragons, right? So good coach can like use that as teaching stuff. So yeah, I like the fact that you face people again.
I do like that. I am really curious. I guess let's talk about like what's actually like still here, right? But the revenue sharing. So I know that there's like the Twitch subscriptions. There's some. I know there was talk about like Rally Cry like creating merch last spring that I'm not sure where that's currently at. But
Also,
cool.
Curious. So one of the things that is interesting, as the Players Association tweeted out, willing to trust that they're right here. There was a tweet they sent out that Riot gives the 10 franchise teams X amount of dollars each year to help with league operations. I'm curious if Disguised Toast now is incorporated into that for this.
Oh.
Or if that is part of the rev share where maybe because it's no longer required, maybe those teams are grandfathered into some of that money. Like maybe a small amount.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that, like, in theory, that is a interesting question to ask if that's going to be the case, right?
Bro. I wonder if it's already been decided. I would not be surprised if that's something that's an ongoing discussion.
Because
They say it's about the money, the business side. But fans are left wondering, what's their true prize?
ChatGPT's undefeated.
Oh, man. So that's definitely interesting.
Okay, so
I'm looking forward to having all of our faces as emotes.
that could be fun if that's going to be the case. Update from Whoopley, who's in the chat. By the way, if you are listening on a later date, you can watch us live on twitch.tv/CubbyXX at 8 p.m. Pacific, which is usually decided, which day it's going to be on my Twitter, which I usually announce 10 or 15 minutes before, which is twitter.com/CubbyXX. Whoopley's in the chat as we're doing this live. The plan is for LCS/NACL to be totally separate for rev share. So the NACL rev share will be started with all 10 NACL teams. Sweet. Okay. So that'll be different. Again, I don't know. I believe the PA, I mean, technically, like either way, Riot's allocating funds. So that tells me that Riot will allocate those funds to those LCS teams, not for the NACL teams. Maybe some funds will be allocated to NACL, potentially a stipend. I don't know if rev share is going to be different. Either way, NACL, it sounds like they're more so in charge of finding ways to build revenue themselves. So looks like we got to sell some ads, boys.
Woohoo!
Might have to have some sponsored segments, help out the league.
I'm down.
On the Range, sponsored by
Horses.
We are looking for a sponsor actively.
Yeah. I think that'd be interesting because, like, I know that there's been an ongoing discussion that what's his name, Philip Aram, the guy is like, yeah, there's no way to ever make money in the Tier 2 league, and it's like, well, we can change that.
Okay, so I do have a quick aside about some of the economics of this. There's a difference between making money and saving money.
True.
So, like, one example that I heard behind the scenes. So I'm going to use Humanoid. Okay, when it was rumored in 22 he could come to NA, right? And his salary was around $800K. A certain team that started a certain rookie mid laner instead they said that the difference between his rookie roster and Humanoids, or I should say rookie contract and Humanoids contract, what would have almost nearly covered NACL operations for the year. So that is a team that benefited from doing their dev team right, but that's still the value that a dev team can bring to your team and having that cheaper contract early.
For those that are not following along, Cubby, just say which team this is.
No, because these are sources. Wink, wink. Anyway, either way.
Oh, you're
that-
being serious. Okay.
Yeah, no, I was kind of memeing, but you should be able to figure that out. Anyway.
Why do you do that? Why?
Because it's fun. It's a fun Easter egg.
Nah, because Cubby just likes knowing things that other people don't.
He gets like the biggest cub chub out of
He does.
like being
It's
able
a fun
to
Easter egg.
Drop things like, I know this. You should be able to figure it out if you're smart enough. Huh? You probably won't because you're dumb.
I'm sorry, that is not a Cubby thing. That is the Thorin special.
No, Cubby does that too.
Yeah, but he invented it.
Goddamn.
Versus perfected.
So
Goddamn.
entering his Thorn Orc, this is not good for the brand.
It's not good for the brand.
I mean, I would say that's fun. Anyway, you should be able to figure that out from that offseason. Either way, if like NACL alone and a lot of dev leagues, a lot of it's not made to generate a ton of revenue. It's not like it's going to be college basketball, guys. Most college sports do not generate revenue unless you're football or basketball.
Not even most like AA sports.
That's
teams.
a little bit different because it depends
Some of
on
them do.
venues.
It depends on the venue.
Because like if they own the venue, they have to fill it up on nights where the games aren't there.
I know
But
that
yeah,
Tacoma Rainiers do not make a lot of money.
we have the Kane County Cougars, and I got to watch the team that won the World Series in 2003, the Marlins. Dontrell Willis and Josh Beckett came through there, and guess what? They beat my beloved Cubs with the Steve Bartman catch.
Not
I
the
love them, and then I hated them. It was a traumatic experience in my childhood. Anyway.
We didn't have one in my hometown, but we did my grandparents. We had the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders.
Like The Office Scranton?
Yeah,
The
Office
Rail
Scranton. My
Riders, you
grandparents
say?
are from Scranton. Yeah, but you'd think that, but their logo is like a fucking skunk that like rides on the rails. It's like the silliest shit you've
Wait, Mark, what's the Salt Lake team? The Isotopes?
Baseball?
Yeah.
The Bees.
Oh yeah.
Salt Lake City Bees.
Sorry, it's not.
They were terrible, by the way.
It's like a hedgehog thing.
We're a AAA team.
Anyway, part
Yeah.
of like that's cool.
Need some
That's B tier. That's at least B tier.
Can you look up the Albuquerque Isotopes logo for me?
So I mean, the point like we're making is these teams. They're not modeled to make the most amount of money. They do somewhat depending on the market. When it comes to like how you're using your NACL slot, the contracts, the theory behind getting a player of the same caliber, like a lot of money cheaper.
Oh, okay, yeah. So for context, when I went to the Isotopes game, they did not have the A. Go up to the top left one.
Oh, that's it?
It was just the word Isotopes in that font.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's awful.
That's so terrible.
The A must be new.
All right.
Yeah, where does that go then? Where would that rank
I'd recommend watching this episode on
on
YouTube.
our tier list?
If you just got here and you're not on YouTube yet, you're probably doing it wrong.
That'd be bad. That's like not quite the one with the teeth, but it's down there.
I got to see Ithaca College legend Tim LaCastro play for them.
We do love you, audio only listeners.
Major dub.
I
However,
don't.
We do. Oh, well.
You can't see this.
Well,
See, we're going to leave that as a fun Easter egg. We're hiding info now, Josh, to screw with fans, because you only know that if you're on YouTube or Twitch.
or Twitch.
Okay, so the idea of this, though, is that one team was able to get a player of the same caliber for a lot of money cheaper, right? Like more than half the worth of the humanoid contract, or around half the worth of the humanoid contract that I said.
Yeah.
Are you saying they avoided the Noid?
In a way. But that's how you use your dev team correctly. And this was a strategy that sports teams have used as well. So Patrick Mahomes is now on the biggest salary all time in football. Before that, he was on a rookie contract. The Chiefs were able then to spend more money on the parts around him. And because they got the most expensive position in football, cheaper and he was the frickin' MVP of the league, like you get a great deal, and then we use that window to push for championships and spend. And EG did that really intelligently with JoJo and Danny, right? So that's the idea of how you use your dev team.
Team Liquid almost did it really intelligently.
It's still a win for them.
Still a win.
Given they had 2 internal promos, and they, I guess AOA was free. If you would have gotten the buyout. That was the idea. Now, buyouts, we talked about that.
You disconnected your XLR.
Oh, I did?
Nice going.
Really? It's still in.
Cubby, if your partner tells you it's not in, you should probably listen.
All right, can you try?
Disconnect this man's XLR.
There we go.
Oh, it's only
Okay.
2 inches.
Back.
Once the buyout market went away, like I guess like they got to save money,
To show you
but there were a lot of big salaries spent. Partly because if you would have used your dev spot better, and if you didn't inflate the market you created, maybe money issues might have been a little bit not as good. Woohoo. Who knows?
Woo!
Who knows? But that's the theory of it.
Yeah.
It's not about making money individually. It's about making money for your org, using this as like a strategic advantage.
And there is a reason why teams that kept their Challengers League teams still voted yes, because they didn't want other teams to have Challenger League teams.
Yes.
Because any team that dropped it is financially
Theoretically,
dumb.
you're at a disadvantage if used correctly. Theoretically, right? And I'm really curious, like what the orgs do and what orgs decide moving forward. Because if they aren't invested, then you would just spend. And then if you're not making enough revenue, you would just die.
I thought it was hilarious when, I don't remember who tweeted it, but they were like, buyouts are going to go way down and people have been in contract jail for so long. It's like, that's not going to fucking change.
What I just said, though, in theory, you will just spend and die. Like they also have changed the market to cut off a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
And I guess that was part of it. So they're trying to spend less. But again, if used a little bit earlier, used intelligently, could have been used to save money against the market that was too inflated globally. That's not just their fault. Like that is the global market. And it's some people are like, I blame players. I don't blame players. I want more money if I'm a player.
Yeah.
Orgs set the market. And I'm not saying like fuck people's livings, but also we're paying $6 million over 2 years.
No, Cubby.
You can make a lot of livings.
Players are asking for too much.
How dare a player wanting to earn more?
Did you see those tweets from people after they released the requests, like the PA? There were people that were like, "This is stupid. The players are asking for way too much. They're never going." It's like
They want
No,
more money.
You should always get paid as much as the org is willing to pay you.
The one caveat I'll add is fuck agents that use that to leverage their players out of jobs. Anyway,
Also true.
uh,
But yeah, like if you are given a good contract, like just take it, right? Like that's money, and you get people like Faker and Impact who just own towers.
I mean,
in
also
Korea.
like I know Faker gets paid an absurd amount, like and he should.
Yeah.
But also, I heard that like I think the Sword Art contract was rumored to be bigger than his
Oh,
well, Faker's been offered like nearly blank check contracts
by China. Yes,
and like turned it down.
yes.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
for the brand at this point,
it's not on the players to be like, no, I don't think I want that much money. It's on the orgs to be like, look, we're gonna make X amount based on having you on our team. We can't. It doesn't make sense for us to pay you more than this.
Yeah, if someone offered you $1 million a year and you were like, "Nah, actually, I think it's like poor for the long-term financial stability of the league for you to pay me $1 million right now," no one's gonna do that.
No,
No one's gonna do that.
nor
shit.
should they be expected to.
Yeah. Because most of these players are so young and have little experience. Like, what are they supposed to think?
Now, I'm a little bit worried when some of them make a ton of money and they don't actually have any social skills, but that's a different thing.
hopefully that money skills,
No, they don't.
You
some do.
or they
Some
ask
of
them
them
to
do.
sell their car and
The people who have rich parents do.
sell the car
actually.
and they flee to China. It's really
I know some
that shit.
that don't that are good with it. I'll tell you after.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've seen the exact opposite, but anyway,
Did you see the thread about how also he was rumored to have shown videos of Knight and saying, "Yeah, this is Kaidua." That's
Oh God, are we getting?
Well,
Wait,
you missed it when he was talking about that. I was like,
Dude.
I was like, you're talking about the social skills, and I was like, yeah. And then like sometimes like you ask your manager to sell your car, and he doesn't sell your car, and then he flees to China because of gambling.
Dude.
It's like crazy.
Dom, go through Dom's Twitter. He made a tweet about China going to LPL for Peter Zhang. That's just it's an all-time banger.
Oh yeah,
You-
TSM going back to LPL to track down Peter. Reginald's like, I will find you, Peter, and I will kill you.
oh, not the Liam Neeson.
Oh no.
No.
Guy.
And I will find Sword Art's Mercedes. I will track it down.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, but back on topic a little bit because we were talking about
that was a funny tangent though.
that was very funny. We were talking about the NACL and like things that have been confirmed. Team Tony Top is out.
It's a bummer. Like they
Bummer.
earned it, right?
Yeah.
So one of the CMN. I was kind of impressed by Levitate's solution that tournament, and Sudsy had good reads on control mages. I think.
We've also lost our greatest logo since the Frag Executors.
That's what their name was. Oh my god.
That team, like, and then everyone just gave Tony Top Jacks. The Fly Fam series, I still remember that game 2 draft, guys. It was Talia
into your mind.
Varus, Tank Malachi, Nautilus, and was it Scion
I think it was Scion.
against Sari Azir?
It's like, oh.
Or no, oh god, it was bad.
Yeah, there have been some egregious drafts in spring and then the promotion tournament.
I mean, there are always some drafts you just go like, all right, this team purely thinks in like the first 6 waves of the game, and it's like GG.
GG.
I will say though, oh fuck, this will be a tangent. I might want to talk about the patch.
Oh, I have patch notes.
I think the patch. Okay, Freak.
Before we do that, should we talk about the PA?
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I'll save a quick tidbit in there, like for later. Freak made changes to change the game back to Old League. A lot of things feel like Old League again. I'll just leave that there. We'll get back to it. But the PA.
Are mythics gone?
No.
No, they're just
Although
gone for
they
ADCs.
They have said in some of the things where they're like, we're open to the possibility of removing like, the requirement.
Yeah.
Mythic 1.
The 80 itemization is Old League.
Yeah. Josh, IE, Navori, and Gale Force are now the mythics for 80s. For Marks.
You can't go Kraken and get 80 plus attack speed. You have to choose one or the other now if you want to go Mythic first.
Oh,
It's Old League.
wait. So people are just building the Noonquiver shit anyway.
Well, part of whatever's stronger, but right now people are trying to figure out what's balanced, so it's really fucking fun. Because you can get a lot of unique lanes with different builds, and I like that. It's really healthy for the game. I think it's really healthy for the game.
That's fair.
Also, Rageblade is a mythic now as well.
Yeah,
Oh, is it? Oh,
because lanes can be so much more important now, and this you can tech to try and win lanes and get out of bad lanes to like. It makes diversity go up a lot, and say everyone builds Kraken, in my opinion.
all right. Oh, that's cool.
So-
I haven't read the patch notes. I just played a couple of ARMs today, and I was like, "Whoa, what are these new items?"
Yeah. Kraken.
Crit sucks.
Yeah, I mean, Kraken got nerfed because it no longer does true damage. It's now just bonus magic damage every 3rd hit. I think that comes with the territory of being demoted from mythic to legendary. I don't know how much cheaper it is, but I think it's cheaper. Yeah, no scaling passive either. Shield Bow also got nerfed significantly, being a legendary item now instead. Also, Bloodthirster was changed. It's not just a lifesteal shield that you get. The way it works is if you're above 50% HP, you get bonus AD.
But they removed the shield, right?
Yes, there's no more shield.
That's bullshit. I'm sorry. Fuck that. That is Bloodthirster. That's the
shield?
whole item is the shield. You get the shield.
You get more AD.
You get who cares? Bloodthirster is the item where you get
it's true.
lifesteal, and then once you hit full health, you get a shield. That's the whole item. That's what it's always been.
No, it's not.
yeah,
in Old
like
League.
like old Bloodthirster.
Old League just you used to you would
Season
last
3?
hit minions
You used to
and
get
get
a
bonus
shield,
AD.
Okay, I mean, how old are you talking though? You're talking.
That was season 2 when I started playing.
Yeah.
That's how I used
right.
to
I started.
work.
I mean-
playing season 3, and it was the shield thing.
There was
no,
a shield.
There wasn't.
season 3?
Yeah, because
I remember.
Just
Bloodthirster.
remembering this?
Yes.
When did it get the shield?
Yeah, it got the shield like season 9.
Wait, are
No.
we gonna allow this rabbit hole?
Yes, I mean it's already.
Let's look
Like,
it up.
it
Let's Manny look it up on the side.
Yeah,
Let's
when did the
move on.
Bloodthirster shield come through? It was definitely not season. nine. It
Manny's
had to
gonna
be
look it up
before
on the
that.
side.
I'll do it. Meanwhile, you guys talk about
Yeah,
the
Players Association.
Maybe season 7.
Yeah, bro, we gotta figure it out.
Oh shit! Wait, I can't go. I have to do it in another tab. Hang
Yep.
on. This
Whee!
is the most scuffed thing ever.
All right, can somebody explain what Valorant style promotion relegation is to me?
So there is no, you can actually promote in a tier 1.
Yes.
So they just want that. Manny, what's going on here?
Oh shit! I always forget that I'm on the same.
Okay.
Producer
Riot
Manny's
commit
doing
to
his
revenue
best, folks.
pool for player
Emmy
salaries of
award-winning producer, by the way.
$300K per NACL team per year. That sounds like a lot of money. That's a lot
It
of
is.
money.
It is. But part of this is for the Players Association to just put public pressure out. Like that's part of their motivation probably.
Yeah.
And to their credit, it's working. From just what I've seen, it's getting talked about a lot. Hence why we're here. Allow LCS orgs to partner with affiliates for cost sharing.
Yeah, I'm done. Whatever.
So that's technically that's how it works right now with TL and Fly. Right. Technically, except it's the same org.
Wait, what?
And it's like in a sense, like they're allowing them to be affiliates again. They just have to partner with the teams that now exist.
The shield was added in patch 4.10 to Bloodthirster, so season 4.
Oh shit.
It was Old League.
Wow.
But it wasn't old league.
I remember season 3 though was when everyone played Lucian. No, season 4 Lucian was OP again.
Yeah, season 4 was when they made
That was
the
Lucian patch.
ice skating Lucian, where they were like,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
making his E cause no mana.
Sorry,
Remember Lucian and the Nasus?
Here's my question, man.
They got rid of Wither.
How long has Bloodthirster have crit in its build?
It used to just build out a BF.
Yeah.
Scepter
It used to
for
not have
that.
crit. No, it used to not
Yeah.
have crit.
That's what I'm saying.
It used to
Yeah.
just be a Vamp Scepter plus BF Sword. For
Yeah.
whatever
People
reason.
liked it because you could actually calculate damage easier because there was no crit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I'm confused.
And you build it first because you would stack it.
Because I think it was recently that they added crit chance into its components and build.
Yeah, that's a fairly recent.
Yeah.
Dude, AD
I
was
think
so
that's
OP
why I
back then.
confused it because I didn't think about
BT Lucian was a fucking nightmare.
Dude, BT,
Sorry, do you remember when
BT last
Lucian first came out and there was like a war on like Twitter and Reddit over like how you're supposed to build this guy?
I always used to think it was Triforce Bork. I have like multiple clips of quads back then with Lucian.
Yeah, I was a huge believer in
1023.
what? In
Was
the
when he got
the
crit.
Ed crit.
Yep,
I was a
that's what I'm
huge believer in Borg first
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so OP.
because you would just go there and you go and then you'd go.
You one tap
Yeah,
people.
and that was 48% current health.
He was so OP when he came out, and still is a great champion.
Cool champ. Anyway,
Do you want to go back to
Hell of
my
a
boy
thing.
Graves.
or do you want to?
Yeah, back to the PA thing.
PA thing.
Sorry guys, we got tangents tonight. Institute 3/5 roster continuity rule or
It took me
continuing.
a while to understand what they were saying.
So this is good. Pretty much, if you promote, you got to keep 3/5 of your roster. That's great for
I
players.
agree.
It's really healthy for
This is
players.
good.
Th-
Like-
this
What?
is OG rules.
I think a
Hold on. I think we're interpreting this differently. Because my interpretation here was that for a team
Oh,
of
for the
players
upcoming
that were
season.
released coming into summer, they could keep their spot if they played with 3 of the same players. That was my interpretation.
wow, that really is worded very poorly.
Yeah, I don't 100%
Okay,
understand
it's-
Five
that.
players, what?
I
ACL, right?
I kind of don't agree with this because it would only. I feel like the org should have the right to build the roster they want. Whoever's in the slot.
Yeah, but it's about the released rosters.
My hot take is that they should take this 3/5 rule and apply it to.
People.
I was, as you were saying that, I was like, oh, this sounds poor when I was saying it. But the continuity thing, I think they should apply that to LCS.
I think they should apply it to the promoted teams in NACL. I think it already is a thing.
I think like one.
It was 5 out of 7 actually. It was
I
5
think
out of
one
7.
of the biggest under discussed problems with like the LCS and also just the whole sphere globally is the level of player turnover. I think it's far too high.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's bad for the league when Perks comes in on his like multi-million-dollar contract and it's like, and Alfari comes in for Team Liquid and there's like this guy's going to be the face of our org for the next 5 years, and he's
And 6
gone.
months later, he's gone.
He's just gone. So annoying.
I mean, not to, well, I thought Inspired was going to be here for a long time, too. Like, he got a MVP trophy.
He's so fucking good.
And this clearly wasn't a skill issue.
Yeah. No.
For why they got released.
Oh, no, it wasn't. I mean, that's why it's even more sad. It's like, well, EG are trying to go budget, and they can't afford this guy anymore. And so it's just, yeah. Sucks.
Yeah, it sucks he's not competing too. He's fun to watch. Okay.
But yeah, anyway, I feel like this last bullet point is like, one, hard to understand, and two, like, how do you give those players a slot? Do you just like have an unsponsored team? And I don't know if that's better, unless it's a picture of a goose, in which case
We're going back to the old days.
Yeah, you just get like 5 players, like, yeah, you 5, yeah, yeah. Hey,
5
what
players
are you doing on Saturday?
Ranked 5s.
Woo!
Bring back ranked 5s.
That's what we're doing tomorrow, baby.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that anyway? Never mind. Anyway, can we pick up the PA thing one more time?
Oh, sure. I thought we were.
Let's see. Guarantees LCS minimum contracts for the following year for the 5 players. I
I did it again.
don't know how I feel about bullet 4. Riot guarantees LCS minimum contracts for the following year for the 5 players who win each year. Is like,
That
no?
one does seem kind of out of left field, I will say.
Yeah.
Like, it would be nice, but it's like, for your core demands, I feel like it kind of muddies the waters a little bit. You know what I mean?
yeah. Especially because it's like, there will always be a player on a winning team, right? Kind of like per our Worlds discussion, that was also just kind of there. You know? And I feel like that's a really odd thing that a couple of players just like, yeah, if I win, I deserve to be promoted. And it's like, yeah, a lot of the time, yeah. But I don't know. It just feels like really rough, and I feel like everything else, or the first 3, I'm potentially interested in, but 2 and 3 in particular, I think are really good demands.
Well, this isn't for NACL, the 4th bullet point. This is for LCS Summer Finals.
Which is why it seems weird to...
And not spring.
Oh shit, that's for LCS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spring split doesn't matter, guys.
Yeah, which is why
official.
it feels weird to include it when the thing that was affected directly was NACL. Like, it's almost like this was something that was bothering a lot of players, and so they're like, hey, let's just group this in there.
This might be an ask from, like, to try and kind of throw a bone to the orgs too. It's like, hey, if you win, like, they'll cover like this chunk of salary for the next year in a way, or like the players get like a bonus like that.
From that perspective, it makes sense then. If
Yeah,
you're covering
it's kind of
it's like covering.
it's kind of throwing a bone to the orgs, like a bonus motivation for
Oh,
them.
so then the orgs don't have
Because
to...
theoretically, you're getting another 1.5 mil, and the players can earn that. Like, the players would like that motivation. They want the bonus money as well. I don't know. I think that's like almost like a prize pool, right, for them.
Yeah, I mean, to give you like a perspective on how like bad the turnover thing is, or the lack of, or I guess the amount of turnover, like the team that went the furthest without changing their roster is still the original C9. Like, this past 100 Thieves roster got like a little bit close, but that's like it.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of why I was such a massive C9 fan for such a long time, because I knew it was going to be the same 5 players
Yeah,
for
Me too.
basically forever. And how long was it actually? It was like 4 years?
so it was 2013, all 2013, all 2014, and then the first half of 2015.
Oh shit,
Which
I
is
thought they did
really
all of 15.
still not that long, but
Yeah.
like by esports standards, it is long.
It is very long.
Because it's like, I don't know how well you're gonna do building fans long term if you're like, all right, every team is blowing up their roster every year. Like,
Yeah.
let's.
I was so excited that CLG kept their roster together, and then now they don't. And I'm like, okay, well, energy. But, which I kind of understand, because it's like a new org and they have like different philosophies about the whole thing. Anyway. Yeah, guaranteeing 300,000 minimum for NACL is just like, well, okay, so they said that they were giving 3 million to every team. Okay, well, we're giving 2.7 million to every team, and now here's 300,000 you have to spend on your NACL. Cool. Like that. Like that's not a real demand. You know?
Yeah.
Word.
Either way, I think that part of this for the PA is to just put pressure.
Yeah.
Like that is their motivation, and I'll give the PA credit. Like the PA's the biggest criticism of the PA is like they didn't really do anything. They're doing a lot here. Like they're at least like trying their best to make waves. Hey, they got a Washington Post article today.
Well, I know, but they
That's
didn't
big.
do anything. They can still be doing something now and have not done anything
Yes.
their entire history up
Yeah.
until now.
Like the fact that like a lot of people are saying strike. Well, guess what? Strike's a lot easier when you have a union. So like the players like not having one, like that's an example of that, right? That hasn't been
Well,
done.
should they have been a union?
That's I mean,
It's been 5 years.
regardless, yeah, like that's at least they're making waves. Like a post article and like what they've done, it's smart on their end.
Yeah,
They're actually like handling this pretty well.
sure. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a less charitable interpretation of that, but
There is,
not gonna.
Yeah.
there is, but at least they're trying now.
Yeah. I have high hopes for what comes from it, but like it's very obvious that none of these, honestly, mostly kids, have any idea how collective action works,
Yeah,
and they are not particularly incentivized to do it.
yeah.
I-
I mean, the next thing I'm really interested in too, like from the orgs, is how many teams moved to Austin, Texas.
So why
Servers
specifically Austin?
servers are in Chicago, and no, like Texas taxes are better for all in a way, or like they can go to Illinois. You know, Illinois is just more expensive than Texas. That's why I said Austin,
See,
right?
Josh, I understand that argument where you're like the players are young and they're like, you know, they're not familiar with it, but then you have an institution that was created with the sole purpose of benefiting the players in the long term that could and should have been taking steps to do things like this many years ago. I think that's the less charitable interpretation.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
their whole purpose should have been to create this for a long time.
Yeah.
Sad.
Turns out unions make everybody's lives better, even if you're not in one.
That's crazy.
Go unions.
Well, I mean,
This is my official stance, not of the podcast, but of Joshi. Unions are poggers.
I will say too, like thinking about how other sports work, the players get power because there's a collective bargaining agreement between the orgs and the players. So, for example, the NBA just pushed one through, which is pretty fucking wild. Like, there's a clause in there where players can actually promote betting websites.
Cool.
I mean,
Wow.
they are the ones that are playing the games, so there is conflict of interest. But the league was like, "We're gonna watch this and trust you, and like you can go make a lot of money doing this." That's something that the players asked for. They can also invest in WNBA teams. That was part of like another one. Like that's cool for them.
Yeah.
So like you get power there, and there have been player strikes in the past for major sports, and guess what? They don't play until the owners figure it out with them. So that's where your power comes from. Like that is power in players. I don't know like how needed it is for esports, but I think once franchising happened, it was needed because then like the power the players had was promotion relegation in a way. So then if you play well enough, you're in, right? So I think there's some things that are like kind of tough about this and like when it should have happened, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm holding on, Manny. I'm fading.
What's going
on over here?
Don't worry about
Are you watching a movie?
No, I'm fading. Anyway, what's
Did you take an edible?
I don't know. What's going on over here?
He must have, right?
He's getting okay. I think he did.
Damn it, Mark.
I'm
I
fine.
think we've lost Marc, guys.
No,
Like the fact that he's still in the chair is a good start.
I'm having a great time.
I'm happy for you.
All right. All right.
Well, we have lost one team member.
That's for sure.
I was trying to be on the team today. I really was, and then I looked into Manny's eyes. I was like, man,
He has a girlfriend.
I know, which I'm so happy for because this guy's a beautiful man.
True. Now it's on a scale of
Platonically.
Manny to Marc,
Manny to Marc. What do you mean?
the single spectrum.
Oh. Listen, you know what? I don't even want to be in a relationship. I don't know what you're talking about.
He says as he puts his hood on.
We're gonna move
Let's
off
go.
this topic because we still have serious challengers news.
We do?
I mean, 7 orgs left. Do we want to talk about that now? Is this like a good time to hit it? Anything else to
okay.
talk about like with the league?
I am super shocked that Cloud9 dropped.
I am too. Partly because of something I probably won't say on the podcast.
Okay.
Dealing with real estate.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because people who think the buyout market is going to get better and contract hell is going to get better are dumb. Because now all the good players who are going to be worth like buying out are going to be on 3 teams. And those teams are called Team Liquid, Evil Geniuses, and FlyQuest.
Yeah.
And or maybe not this summer, but starting in like spring 2024, like that is going to be true if they stay. And that was how Cloud9 used to make a ton of money.
That is true. I mean, obviously, I think those 3 teams have advantages in terms of talent pool. You know, I was just sitting here and thinking that I think the 3 teams that kept were probably the 3 like most hyped junglers at points. Because Mir, UG had sick playoff run, and then Shaden's always been hyped because they're rank 1-2, has hands, and is a zoomer, and might even be a 6-man LCS this year. So, yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
We also
I was like, that's a funny coincidence.
It's saving money. So we'll see how it goes.
Living better.
Who knows?
But
Armeo's back, baby. I'm so hype.
Walmart.
Anyway, moving on.
But yeah. A lot of teams dropped. It's kind of an end of an era for 100 Thieves as well.
A little bit.
Is one of the biggest pushers of
I am surprised to see what happens with Sniper and Yukino. And I'm really bummed that Sniper is not competing.
but he's streaming. He's been tweeting every day.
Yeah, but still bummed. He was learning and had high highs.
Yeah.
So
And we have a lot of players. We just have a lot of good players that I don't know what is happening with.
It's shitty to see so many people just banished to the Shadow Realm and
like I'm so bummed for Dig, man.
Yeah.
Hoon, like especially for Hoon, like he needed a Visa
redemption.
sponsor.
Huge redemption too.
Yeah, like he needed a Visa sponsor. Like, what's up with that now, man? And Hoon was like, I think Diamond said at one point, like in my stream, like, hey, Hoon should have been most valuable prospect. And
I said that and people laughed at me.
no, honestly, yeah, you said it a couple weeks. Like, I think you said it like week 6, 7.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was towards the, we
It was
were
week
getting
6.
close.
It
to,
wasn't
like,
week
having
7,
our
or it was like week
conversation.
6. And I was like, oh fuck, Hoon's been wrecking everyone. And it was like, because we were like, oh, if like MNS like would have been one, Tillman like would have been one.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
weird. But anyway, but yeah, there's a ton of good players on these teams that, like, I mean, the Team Liquid, EG FlyQuest, like they're probably not going to pick them up, right? Because
Yeah.
they already have players on contract.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the amateur teams have been playing with the same like amateur core. So I kind of expect that this summer might be the weakest the tier 2 league has been in a while.
Yeah.
Because of the number of strong players that are just not participating.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
It does give players an opportunity to like rise. You know, you're in a smaller league, better opportunity to separate yourself from everyone
Yeah.
else. So, we'll see. Hopefully, like people rise up, but also, yeah, like I'm bummed to not see Hoon play, man. You guys crack skulls every game until finals, but you know,
Yeah, a bit of a roughie there.
yeah. I mean, even Fake Out, like Fake
Yeah.
Out and Zazel had great redemption arcs,
Yeah.
and like where the hell were they? Tomio was like MVP of that final, probably.
That was the best.
Tomio
I've
was so
seen
fucking
Tomio
sick.
Play.
I mean,
the
it was
entire
Tomio
league.
Gragas. I should have been
Yeah.
like, it's Tomio Gragas, man. Like once he got the first kill, I was like, Tomio runs this game. I've seen the shit
Yeah. I was super low on Tomio the entire
most of the season.
the
It was
entire
like,
season.
Ah, man,
And
it's
then
like,
he had such a good finals.
yeah. Every once in a while, I was like getting like caught. It's like his team is really good. So, yeah,
Yeah. I'm still, even after that, I was like, he had a really, really good day.
he played really good that day.
He played really good that day. And so I'm really curious what will happen with Tomio going forward because
He has the hands.
he has the hands. I don't
fan.
dispute that.
Big fan.
But having only the hands only works if you have somebody who will micromanage you around.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
He's learning. You know,
He's learning.
He proved it in finals.
He's a Pokemon.
Hey, he clutched up. He clutched up. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. All right, so orgs that dropped. I think that's a good point. I'm bummed that 7 dropped. There was one thing that happened behind the scenes where when I kept on saying 6, I will cope and say there was one thing that happened behind the scenes that I was somewhat maybe thought could happen, was thinking optimistically on, that did not happen.
You're talking about the IC contracts?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Players are not allowed to be independent contractors.
Yeah, they had to be on minimums. If that would have changed, that's kind of why. But did not change this.
I'm not particularly surprised by that decision.
I also have mixed feelings on whether or not that would be good or bad. I do.
I think then you just get a bunch of players playing for poverty wages
Yes.
at that point.
Yes.
Oh god, that was the strangest take of the NACL thing, where it's just like players should not be able to live.
Yeah, I mean, that was like the clause I kept on giving. Like, I understand other regions pay their tier 2 players less, but also I'm not going to sit here and be like, all right, like, let's nuke the salaries for these guys, you know? And I know that, like, you know, esports, like, teams don't have, you know, money that grows on trees. That is a reasonable, you know, thing. And it's not like times are the best. I do understand this. It's just there are some frustrations with past habits that might have been avoidable that could have had us in a better position now.
Yeah,
And
like not investing in crypto.
Also,
True.
we think the things could still be like
This
there
is
are
the official Joshi position. Unions are poggers and crypto is not.
and also, you know, we think that teams are still not valuing their challengers teams enough. We have some like more evidence for like why we think the teams are really valuable. Now, what I'm looking forward to is on the broadcast, just acting like I have this idea and I want to run with it.
Okay.
Like every segment, it's just like, all right, baby, like this is On the Range, sponsored by, or like we're selling out for, and just like start like shilling. It's
Not
like
selling
mad
out,
shill.
buying in.
Yeah. We're not selling out, we're buying in. And you can buy in the challengers right now.
You got to market to all those Toast viewers.
Yeah.
True.
So I was talking to someone about this today. Delta Fox back in the day used to pull like 70K viewers on the Academy stream back in the day.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, that was the roster with, I think, I'm a Cutie Pie, Shifter, Voyboy,
Dyrus.
and who else? There was one more. Skara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skara playing jungle.
Yeah.
Scar played
that was-
jungle, Shifter was support, and Voyboy was
So
mid.
over
boy.
under most watched DSG match, 50K viewers.
It depends on if co-streaming is a thing or not.
It was a thing last split, right? Or is that last year?
Manny, this is really late to ask of you, but
Yes, Mark?
we don't have a tier list on schedule for this segment or for this podcast episode. Could we do a quick tier list of, now that Toast is in the league, which content creators, just like if there's a tier list of content creators, we don't rank them based on how much we like them, just how good would they be for NACL?
No. It's too late for that.
Yeah,
We would have had that. We
yeah.
could do that in a future episode, but we would have
That-
had to prep that in advance.
That's fine.
Rafa, his eyes got really big for his stomach there. He's like, we can do this.
That was like a Doc moment where me, Cubby, and Summer were just like, "Hey Doc, can you do this 5 minutes before show
I
starts?"
thought about trying to construct a tier list live, and I was just like, nah, I'm not going to do that shit.
See, the difference is that Doc would be like, and then do it.
Remember when Kog'Maw finished
I
the
mean, I can
Cole?
still groan if you want. But like,
They ran a graphic for Kog'Maw finishing the Cole
No, I don't remember
because
that.
it was so late in the game.
Oh, jeez.
That was my favorite thing ever. And Doc was just like, I fucking hate you guys with a burning passion. And then he flies it.
Dude, the fact that Doc and Joe and Lauren like made that show work was incredible because they are the most
They're actually the goats.
Yeah, the most functional, dysfunctional people I've ever met.
They are my. I went to college with Lauren. He is my favorite.
Yes.
Those guys are the best.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun. We put together some good shows, some messy shows, but we had fun.
My favorite thing I think on any of those shows was the one where we showed like the weather report around Doc when there's like a hurricane hitting him and he lost internet and Joe was pissed.
Yep. TJ and Iberia were so funny.
There was that period as well when like honestly at the start of the pandemic, like that I think you guys probably had from working on both broadcasts. I think you guys, obviously like a year down the line I worked at Riot, but like I think at that point Challengers Uprising had more tools at their disposal than the LCS did.
Yeah.
And it was just some
we had
guy
Joe.
out of London.
We had Joe Physics, baby.
Joe Physics. The GOAT.
Also, the funniest part is that not only did that season have issues with cup weather, but also those were the finals where Barrage lost their internet.
Oh.
And they started running into the enemy base for touchdowns. No, poor Barrage.
Oh, man.
Well, at least one of them is now in the NACL.
Dude, Barrage that season had like 3 tragic power outage / rulings. And it was like so heartbreaking. And then they got in as the 15 seed and beat the 2 seed.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was epic.
Power outage.
And then
one
did they
internet
go?
DC.
They lost their next 2 series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they made the TL doc where Jat's like, yeah, we're scrimming at Barrage. They're an amateur team, but they're kind of good.
Nice.
It's like, yeah, that was
Cool.
funny.
Anyway. What else do we have to talk about?
Uh,
Want to talk about
are we
NACL
wrapped
more?
on NACL stuff?
I don't
We were kind of on the 7 orgs leaving.
If you have anything to contribute.
Yeah.
I think I said most of the things I wanted to say.
Yeah, same. It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. The messaging is also just really terrible where it's like,
Yeah.
well, we don't think there's an avenue
Yeah.
for players to be promoted in the LCS. Say us, the people whose job it is to promote people into the LCS.
I will cut the orgs a tad bit of slack in saying that they killed this so fast they couldn't prep a message.
Woo!
Yeah.
So, but also, I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see like what they will do, if anything.
Find out.
Yeah.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
So that was disappointing.
Yeah.
to see some orgs that
Hang on, we're losing your microphone again. Let me try that.
I do know. Okay, I do think it was very funny.
There we
So
go.
for context, the past 3 splits, so spring, summer, and then spring last year, we had different producers every single time. And actually, if you go one further back, we had a different producer the summer before that, and the spring before that,
I was not there for spring. I
and
started that
the
summer.
summer before that, and the spring before that, we were still the same. And before that, it was the teams doing their own thing. So we've basically had like 7 or 8 consecutive splits where we've had like a different production style
I didn't know that.
for Academy
I didn't know
and
that.
challengers.
It's the defense against the dark arts position.
Exactly. Yeah. And I want to say big congratulations to Rally Cry for
So
being
Rally Cry
the first
or
production
Slug-
organization
or no,
outside of
no.
Riot to survive
I-
their first
Fuck.
season.
I didn't know that until now.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, because I joined in 21 summer. I didn't know that before.
Yeah. Cause
Oh my god,
Because we had,
that's wild.
yeah,
So
in
let's-
17, we had like the teams were doing their own thing. And they weren't required to do it. And then they were required to do it, and then they weren't required to do it, and some teams did it anyway. And then Riot kind of brought it back in-house for a little while with like the Academy Rush.
God, Academy Rush.
And then after that, it was in-house again, but not Academy Rush. And they would just like call groups of people to be like, hey, you 3, you want to do this day? And we're like, money, yes, thank you, please. But it was really hard, and it was the discussion that we had with Matt Nausha and Zach was like, it's really hard for us to be invested in this when we don't know if we're going to be working the season like at all. And that's when we started, and that's when we had Face It, and then we had Esports Engine, and then we had Rally Cry, and now we have Rally Cry again. Ooh. Is it still Monkey Bubble?
I don't know.
I imagine it probably is.
So. We'll see.
I think
Anyway.
Monkey Bubble is like a separate entity.
Yeah, they're a subcontractor.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it would be very funny if we lost the subcontractor production company.
Yeah.
It would be very funny to me.
Not,
I hope we keep them.
we had a great team this year. We did have a good
Cubby, can you
And Ollie talks about
reconnect your
Warhammer with
XLR
us.
Cable? This XLR cable is like suffering today, guys. Apologies to all those in the chat.
Anyway,
So, out of curiosity, Josh,
yo, what up?
when you changed it from Academy Rush to then just
Hopefully.
you guys
again.
actually,
I think it
because
was
Academy
Equip.
Rush was
Maybe.
Equip and
2020,
keep it up.
right?
I think that was
'Cause
it.
2019 was still
Yeah, so 2020, I came, because it was right as the pandemic was like starting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I remember I flew and I was a little uncomfortable about flying at the time. So yeah, it was 2020 spring.
yeah. And then when pandemic hit, then it was remote casting.
Yeah, it was full remote.
Academy. So who was the production company during that time?
2020 summer. I think it was just straight Riot.
Okay, because
Riot was doing
then
it?
because I know 2021 was NSG, Nurse Street Gaming.
Yeah.
I just didn't know who ran it before then.
Yeah, I think Riot was doing it in-house, but they didn't want to do it in-house. And so that's why we got NSG.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. Dude, NSG was so funny when we worked with them on 2021 because we would ask and be like, "Hey, so what's the plan for today? What's the sorry?" And they're just like, we got these teams. Sick. What was it? 5 or no? Is it that far away?
Yeah, kind of.
This is just off the rails in many ways tonight.
Is that better
But
for you?
we're
Cam?
rolling with the big topics.
Yeah.
It's right on my
It's
chest.
the time to start
It's better for these.
getting into most LA
Okay.
thing. Oh, I can talk about Warhammer.
Also MSI.
Kangas,
Oh, yeah.
Kangas and Charlie Steers have been in the chat like the whole time asking for most LA thing.
I'm just kind of tickling around. We'll tickle around MSI a little bit, but then we can just spend the rest of the time just like chilling when we've done the last 2 weeks.
MSI was a pretty good tournament.
Yeah, the
Matt?
Double Elimination is cool. I watched a bunch
Yeah.
of highlights. China pretty good this spring.
The thing that made me the maddest was the conversation around the Chinese viewers. I found that shit hilarious.
That was so fucking tilting.
I was so angry.
It's like, okay, we're looking at metrics from a site that doesn't count Chinese viewers for an LPL final. It's shockingly down because none of the other regions that are tracked in this one specific thing, esports charts, are represented in this
Yeah.
final.
And you
This
know
is
why?
More for viewership, you know, in the region that has viewership magnitudes larger than every other region.
Yeah, for real.
You know why we don't use the Chinese metrics? Because they lie about them. It's very well documented how badly they lie about their viewership numbers. If a single person tunes in at all during the stream, even if it's like not on an official stream, they will say that they were there the entire time.
Curious.
So Chinese viewership metrics are fake as all hell. So don't believe anything you ever see about a Chinese viewership
But
metric.
when Marc's like still like did the math from like the year it was like the G2 TL1, it's like even in this one, it's proven that like the Chinese viewership with like Korea like viewership like supported it more than like NA and EU. So like your
Fair.
argument's like invalid pretty much.
Yeah, it was also brought up like it was a mistake, and it's like, well, what? It's a number printed. Did you just read the number wrong? Like what?
Oh my god.
It was
that
very
was
clearly like
it was
It's
it was
not like
ridiculous.
there've been a lot of MSIs.
True.
There's been less than 10.
Yeah.
It's not a ton of numbers to keep track of. And then esports
No.
charts has probably only been tracking them since what, like 2017 or 2018, probably.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
I don't know. It's how that hit the top page or the top of the front page of Reddit. I will never understand.
Because
Numbers are small. League is dying.
there is an absurd amount of vocal
You can-
minority of people that are just loving to talk about that league is dying.
You can never please the league fan, is what I figured out. Like there were so many conversations around this format This format was fucking sick. The only change I would have made is where I would have reversed the lower bracket. And that's
yeah,
it.
like if
It's really it.
if there's teams from the same region, they're gonna play each other like flip.
Yeah.
I would have hoped that would have been in there, but
I would have-
unfortunately, I'm sure it will be next year after this.
I would have removed some of the best of fives to do something to decide seeding. So you see every team just play each other once. That would be fun. Yeah. I would have traded that for the best of fives we had.
Yeah. I just want to say that like
The first round.
it sucks that
Something to
Reddit is still somehow like considered the
Cancerous.
most. I mean, it is.
That's
it's not even
aggressive.
considered. It just straight is. There's a reason why I uninstalled Reddit from my phone and I just try not to even use the site anymore because you can't hold specific people accountable for opinions they have, so that when the opposite like thing happens that counters their sentiment, there's nothing that like they own up to. They just disappear and they wait until like whatever's happening fits their narrative again, and they pop up in hordes and numbers.
I mean, it's
Okay.
part of the fun of the internet.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I really like some subreddits, just not the League one. The League one's terrible.
I'm active in it because I feel like I have to be.
I will sometimes search if my name has been mentioned, like about once every 3 months or so.
What Niga? All right.
Well, I'm just curious, right? Because like, has anybody said anything? And
Well,
usually, if nobody said my name, it's a good thing.
when you get something that is big enough, and you get now like with the internet where everyone can talk, it's just like when you have something that's that big, no matter what, no matter how well done it is, how well produced it is. Like this is something I've learned from, like working on a broadcast that's just this size. No matter what you do, someone is going to hate it. Like, you wouldn't expect that the single elimination, like homers would come out of the woodwork. We didn't think they existed, but it turns out they exist. So like, yeah, I don't know. There's someone that's going to hate whatever happens.
And the other thing is like, yeah, the subreddit, if you take it as a collective, thinks both opposite ends of every like part of a issue simultaneously, but they're actually different people, right? Like it's very rare that person A holds the opposite
Right.
opinions with
Yeah,
themselves.
like contradictory viewpoints on an issue will be upvoted to the front page on like back-to-back days, and it's like,
Yeah.
how is this possible?
Correct.
Like,
which is why it's like, I mean, I know it's just an internet problem, but it's why I hate it a lot, because you can, when we're trying to put stock and value into figuring out, okay, what is the true fan sentiment? What is the true fan or community reception to something that we've done? It doesn't seem like you can actually get an accurate reading of it at all, because if you're looking for the positives of it, you're not going to find it. But anything that's a negative, that always gets upvoted, because angry negative shit always gets blasted up. The only time something positive is that it's so overwhelmingly positive that people feel like moved to talk about it. But most of the time, people are easily moved to talk about things that they don't like.
and then there's the Reddit mods. You said you wanted to talk about that, Cubby.
Oh,
You put that in the
There was a.
chat earlier.
It was curious. There was a war, goddamn war that went on yesterday on Twitter.
Yep.
A battle.
Yep.
Blood was shed.
Yep. It was dumb.
people were called out.
Ooh, someone else's podcast was called out.
People were thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
Raz had the best comment. If you can go find it.
him in 4K, it was bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Moving on, most LA thing.
I will say, I think that all content creators on the subreddit should have some privilege to post and then just let people upvote it. See if it's good or bad. If it fits within the parameters.
Yeah. I think the rule they have where you have to have
It's
X amount of like comments.
And
or
it's
whatever.
enforced in a shitty manner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very clearly not enforced.
Also,
fully.
why are we harming people that like are doing this for a living? If it's not good, then hopefully like the people can speak. Just like kind of more like free content come in. It's dumb. Like it involves like what's going on.
Well, there's an unkind thing that you could say about why that is, but I won't say it on air.
maybe there's a super conspiracy going on.
Or something about like, a certain type of person that rises to the top in a community like that. But like I said, I won't get into it on air.
Okay.
Anyway,
Most LA thing of the week?
I am the best Josh Howard in the world at Warhammer.
What was the world rank?
I peaked 192, and the last I checked, the last it was updated, I was 214 is what I'll end up.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Pretty good run. Out of how many people on the ladder?
12,000.
It's pretty good.
Let's go, Josh.
But the very important thing, so something that I hadn't really talked about before, but there is one other Josh Howard on the ladder, and they play in England. And if there's anybody who knows what this means, they played Iron Hands. Fuck Iron Hands. Iron Hands are so fucking bullshit. Anyway. Yeah, there it is. So the way that the ranking works for 40K is you
Bro,
go...
who has two first names?
I know, and it's pretty common.
Wait, that's very
unfortunately.
funny.
But yeah, so I'm 1 point ahead. But the way that these rankings work is they take or every event that you go to, based on the number of people that were there, based on the number of rounds you played, and based on your placing, you would earn a number of points. The minimum number of points you go to for an event is like 40-ish, and the maximum I've seen off an event is about 200. And then they will take your 6 best events and add the number of points that you got out of those, and that will be how they determine your ranking. Now, for most of the season, I have been about 30 to 60 points behind Josh Sugar Howard from England this entire time. And after this last event, I calculated if I get like 156 points off this event, I will be higher ranked than him. And now I am exactly 1 point higher.
So
I went from being the worst Josh at 40K in the world to being the best Josh at 40K.
so not only
There's only 2 Joshes that play 40K?
Well, it was only 2 Josh Howards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a comment pretending that I kind of know Warhammer.
Yeah.
So not only are you now better than Josh Howard, but also you play a harder to play class than him.
My
Because you said Iron Hands are bullshit.
My
So
faction.
I'm assuming his class is OP.
My faction is a 52% win rate faction. His faction has been a 56% win rate faction.
All
the
right,
entire
so you're
time.
just goddamn better.
I'm
That's
just
what
better.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Better. So skill issue.
Congrats.
Skill issue. Get
I
fucked,
fear.
Josh Sugar Howard.
See, I pretended like I knew the game there.
Hell
Clip it,
yeah.
Clip it, ship it, send it.
I know I have no idea who he is, to be honest, but like.
He doesn't
You're good.
even know who you are, Josh Sugar Howard.
All right. I have a small one, then I have a long one. So I'll share my small one first. I was home for a week. Before I left, I was getting fast food because I didn't want to keep food in the fridge, unlike someone else who left for a week.
Did you ever do anything with the chicken? I didn't. That when Marc was like, "Hey guys, please cook this chicken."
Nope.
No, but I did cook. I got chicken and I cooked it all before I left.
Okay, nice.
Anyway, I was just walking back, and this just felt like an LA thing. There was a nice Mercedes that drove by, and I say nice because like the lights, and it was not an SUV, not a smaller car, but it was like in the middle, like that size and build Mercedes. Sure, kind of unique. And they turned a corner and they threw a bag of Chick-fil-A food just to the side of the road, and it almost hit me.
Nice.
I was like, these goddamn assholes are driving a nice car and throwing shit on the roads. Like, what pieces of shit? Because in a lot of cities, people don't do that because they actually fucking care about the city.
That's what
Should-
I'm always saying.
Snap their fucking license plate to the cops.
I don't know. I mean,
If I had my phone
Hey.
out, I would have tried to.
I'm not a fucking snitch, all right?
Fuck those guys.
I'm not a narc.
You don't
But-
come to raising an A for snitches.
But
Narc.
I was like, what the fuck, man? It's like, come on. It's like, love the city a little bit. Yeah. Anyway,
As
that's
much as we talk about hating in LA.
my most LA thing before I share one of the greatest drinking stories I've ever had in my life.
Okay. Now, did this happen in LA or did this happen in Chicago?
It's back home. Manny,
Okay.
what's up?
Last night, I was driving home from esports soccer where I fell down and hurt myself.
You do that a lot.
Yeah.
You hear something? Oh, never mind.
What?
Dude, there's got to be something going on upstairs.
Oh, okay.
They're
Yeah.
talking about the buzzing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that
I
a
was
fridge?
driving home from soccer yesterday, and I encountered on my street a little friend. I made a friend.
Ooh.
Friend.
I snapped a photo of him and I posted it to Instagram. They asked I was asked by my girlfriend what his name was, and I said Steve. So everybody meet Steve the possum.
Hi, Steve the possum.
It's Kangas.
I saw this. I was a big fan.
So here's the deal, though. I'm not sure if this possum was either doing the thing where they play dead, which they are famous for, or if it was actually dead on its feet. Now, you would say, oh, I think that it is, but I pulled my car up to a stop in front of this thing, and while I was trying to get my camera to focus on it, it took me like 2 minutes. So I was like there the whole time, and I very slowly eased my way around it past it in case it tried to like bolt and ran under my wheels or something. And it did stay perfectly still the whole time. Now, I know they're renowned for being good at playing dead, but that is not the contributing factor. Do you see that small puddle in front of it? That's blood.
Oh.
So there's two options. Either Steve is dead standing up, or he's a vampire.
Or he's eating something.
Oh.
So there's really no in between. So Steve is either
Pray for Steve.
dead or
Thoughts and prayers.
he's
We found a new variant of possum in LA.
the flesh-eating possum.
Yeah.
Oh.
I actually have a question for you, Manny.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard squirrels vocalizing?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you do your impression of them for me?
No.
No. Damn.
Marc's our impression guy. Come on.
Yeah. Mark, have you ever heard a squirrel vocalize?
No.
Oh shit.
Marc,
We're
what
gonna
is
have to introduce you to a vocalizing
it up.
squirrel.
Marc? What is thine for most LA thing?
You say thine.
Yeah,
All right.
I was feeling fancy, man.
Manny.
Yeah, you're gonna want to zoom in on Marc. Guys, the house husband was gone for one day, and we almost lost a whim.
I mean, house husband number 2 stepped up to the plate and was grappling with life and death in the sink, washing a bowl.
Yeah.
Would you like to indulge?
I'll show it. No. It's so I literally was washing a bowl, and the way our sink looks, there's no curved or rimmed edges. It's just edges. So it's just like a rectangle opening. And because it's got corners and it's not sharp, but it's pointed, the bowl slipped out of my left hand. I was holding it with my right. I tried to fumbly catch it. It split open on that edge. And I guess the way, if I had to reenact it, that jagged edge of the bowl split the back of my hand right here, right where this bandage cut is. It happened so fast because I can't tell you for sure if that's what happened. That's just what makes sense in my head, because all I remember was I was washing the bowl, I was listening to music, and then it slipped. I heard Josh go, Marc, because obviously he was like, oh, Marc broke something, you know? And then I looked down, and there's just blood everywhere, and it is seeping out of my hand.
He sent me this, and I was like, "Holy fucking shit!" Because it looks so much worse than it is in that.
Yeah.
in this
Dude,
photo.
same.
He hit it. There's like a vein that runs on like that part of the hand. Like he definitely hit it.
So Josh walks in, and he's like, all right, Marc, what? Oh, and like, I just remember seeing Josh's face immediately just pop open.
I haven't seen that in a
go
while.
time.
Yeah, like freaking. I mean, we joke that Cubby's the most house husband. In that moment, Josh became house husband supreme and just went to town on the first aid kit, wrapped up my hand, cleaned the sink, and just like was like, all right, we're getting you to the shower. We're washing this off. We're putting on gauze. Marc, you need to think about whether you want to go to the hospital or not. And, you know, and I might make that decision for you if it's bad enough. How are you feeling? And I'm like, I mean, I'm bleeding. Like, but I haven't lost feeling. I haven't lost consciousness, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I was most afraid of. The thing that was worse about that, this was like 12 hours after I'd taken an edible. So I was like, oh my God, am I just gonna like lose consciousness now at this point, you know, but I was somehow holding it together. Josh was somehow insanely calm, or at least acting calm for my sake.
I was mostly calm. I was just like, as soon as you were like, I still have movement and feeling in my hand. I'm like, okay, well, it's like, do you want to get stitches? Because otherwise you're going to get a nasty scar.
And I said, fuck stitches.
I was like, okay.
Yep. My youngest.
He also, okay, Marc also thought stitches might cost him as much as $6,000.
Yeah.
So
I
that
thought
was a contributing factor.
So, okay. So the other big thing is
You
that
probably needed 5 to 10 stitches.
the big thing that was, there was two things that made me not want to have to go to the hospital. One, my second youngest brother, Alec, got stitches when he was a toddler. And that, I just have this memory of my youngest brother screaming in pain. And it always makes me sad and terrified of just stitches in general, because he had them on his forehead. Like when he was a toddler, he was just chaotic, and then he just onto the coffee table. And that was traumatic for me because I was like 7 at the time. And watching my youngest brother have to go through that, or my second youngest brother do that. The other thing is that up until on that day, I had not renewed my health insurance for the year. So I had no health insurance. And
Not good.
and I did not want to go to the hospital and pay out of pocket tens of thousands of dollars, because I don't know how expensive this shit is. So, because I just know that our medical care system is kind of fucked. Like, we pay out the ass for money for something that we probably will never get. But then if we don't, and we do, and something does happen, even if it's something that seems minor like this, they're going to be like, oh, well, we need to have to do this, and then we have to do this, and you have to do this, blah, blah, blah.
$50 aspirin.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be $20,000. And it's just like, what the fuck? So, yeah, I didn't want to have to do that. So
Should have done what my little brother did and invested in a staple. When he was a child, he like rammed his head into an iron gate and like cracked his head open, and they put a staple in his head. And I
So-
always made fun of him for it forever, even after they took it out, because I always joked that he had a little bald spot, even though he didn't really, but he couldn't see it.
When I was 5, I was dropped on the corner of a wall, and my head punctured open,
Damn.
and 911 was called.
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like, my mom swears that we should not have called 911, and she has dealt with that before, like she did in her life. My cousin has a bigger scar in his head. He jumped off a stair.
Look, it's the homie hopper.
Wait, is
Is it a
really?
kitty?
Yeah.
I tripped and fell
Hello.
in
Hello, little friend.
in first grade.
Hi.
I tripped and fell in gym class while playing tag, and I landed like head first, and I had a comical like goose egg giant like welt on my forehead, and I was like bleeding from like my nose and everything. And my mom worked, like she taught at the school that I went to, and she had basically like, I had to go into the conference room while she was in a meeting, because they were like you have to take a child, like a student to the hospital, and it was me.
Oh God.
And I went there, and I went to get like an MRI or whatever of my head to make sure I didn't have like a concussion or anything. And when I got into the thing, the size of the goose egg on my head was so big that the technician laughed at me. And he felt so bad about it, he gave me $10. And that's my story.
Nice. The only real injury I had as a child was I fell on a brick and knocked my front left tooth out until I was 9.
Yeah.
But I don't remember that, so
All right, let's get this kitty.
Oh,
no, we are not letting the cat inside.
Now everyone knows my legs move. Like when I sit on the couch, you know? God damn it.
there's a cat.
What? Maybe this entertains it. Oh, no.
Jesus. Wow. That's
Josh! we're teasing animals on a podcast? No, Mark, we're gonna put.
Are you gonna serenade the cat?
I was gonna serenade the kitten.
See, this is why you need to focus on actual kittens.
Oh God! All right. Anyway,
That way you can make fun of me for
I'm gonna-
being the most single.
I've got a drinking story that is
Okay.
shareable.
So sorry for ruining the experience.
You're good. So, I was at a wedding this past week, at a crazy Clash of Worlds. So, it was my best buddy got married. Congrats to him. I stood. But also, they met at a summer camp that I worked at, and he worked at for 3 years. So I saw friends I haven't seen in like 5 years. The girl I walked down the aisle with, we were born in the same hospital 15 hours apart, and our parents taught with one another.
Wow.
This is just a crazy coincidence of events, right? So the wedding was fun. As my father described it, because him and my mother were there, it was one of the most joyous weddings he's ever been to. So good for them. And we did have a lot of fun.
Nice.
Live music slaps, you know. So I think Manny, you might want to check on this PC side. Oh, never mind. We're good.
Yeah, by plugging it in, Mark made everything freak out.
No, nice.
Need to go back.
So I went out. I had fun. Father of the bride did karaoke at the bar we went to after, which was epic. And he did great. So I end up walking around the college campus. So the camp was held at a college. I worked there for 3 summers. So I was walking through the campus just like reminiscing to end my night. It's like I'm wandering around like 3 a.m., right? I used to work at the summer camp. It's a pretty safe time, like where I was at. Actually, not nearly as safe as I assumed it was that night. It was fun to reminisce. So there was a house that we were at, and I gotta be careful to like leave out like all the names. So like when we used to work camp, people worked there for a while. This guy worked camp for more years than me. He was a student at the college, so he owned a house there. Like, and that was the house where we partied at, like when the kids were away. So you had to be like a college kid to like do this camp. When the kids were there, we were great. On the weekends, you know, we'd have fun. So he was the man, because like he would just be like, everyone come to my place. If you work the camp, you are invited. We'll have some drinks, bring your own. And because it was a lot of people, we kind of made a mess. But he was cool with it. We helped clean. Like we were cool with him. He was the man. So I'm walking through the campus. His house was directly across the street from the campus. And it was the same day as the graduation for this college. And the kids were partying at the house that we always used to party at, like 2 days a week, like throughout this camp, right? And they just start yelling at me like, yo, dude, whoever you are, come on up here. Like, get a beer. Like, join us, you know, shit like this. And I'm like, all right, it's 3 a.m. I'm about to walk into like a college graduation party. Hopefully, like, probably no one's underage. We're good. Like, in terms of like drinking. I mean, it's a college party, but, you know, it's graduation. It's fine. So they're like, yo, like, did you just like graduate? I was like, no, small story. You know the camp here? Yeah. It's like, I used to party at this house all the time. They're like, dude, no fucking way. He's like, what's your best story of the house? And I was like, oh, do you know like the guy like used to own it? Like gave a last name. The one guy's like, oh, he was a like senior when I was a freshman. I was like, no way, dude. He's the man. He's like, I heard he was the man. It's like shit like this. So I see the guy who owned the house. He was at the wedding. So I saw him the next day and I'm like, yo, bro, I wish I could drop it. None of those guys listen to this shit, but I will not drop a name. I'm like, yo, bro. He's like, yeah, what's up, man? He's like, I partied at your house last night. He's like, no fucking way. Like, I told him like the story. It was like, yeah, it's like some of my college grads just like, come grab a beer. Like we talked. It was like one was like a psychology major. I don't remember the other two. We just like had a beer like in the porch, and I told like a couple funny stories. Like they told like some of their stories. Like I like went home.
Nice.
It was a great night. I got home at like 4:35 in the morning.
Nice.
And made breakfast. We were in fine shape, but it was a really funny night.
Be funny. I wonder if I could do that if I went back through UW.
It was
There's no fucking way. I graduated in 2016, man.
on a night with so many coincidences. That was like just another like biggest like weird moment where like I literally walked into a party because some college guys were like hey, just like come to our house. And I had a story about the house. Like, it was just like a wild coincidence. So yeah. But we're back now, and we have a work schedule, and we're ready to work.
Do we have anything else we want to do? Because we're at hour 41.
I know your mic is very far away from your face, and Mark's mic is even further away from his face.
Sorry, I was.
Manny's mic is the closest. Manny.
I was curating the photo about the cat outside.
Mark, real quick, your mic was the furthest. You have the least amount of right to talk right now. We're gonna start with Manny.
For which thing?
You got anything else?
No.
All right, we heading out.
I believe so.
Mark is giving a message to audio-only listeners.
Oh
No, to Cubby specifically.
Oh, that you can only get if you are watching on
Watching on
YouTube or
YouTube.
Twitch. Where the podcast is 8 p.m. Pacific, usually on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, whenever we decide and whatever works for us.
By the way, I just want to say that Cubby story, while it's cool, was not an LA thing.
No, but it was a good story.
Get shit on. Mine was about beating up people in London.
Maybe that's for Patreon people if we put one of those together. Like,
Yeah.
just want the shit that happens to us.
Yeah. Well,
Pay for the content. Pay for the LA shit.
I mean, if we're talking about things that didn't happen in LA.
I could talk about things that didn't happen.
Oh yeah, I mean Warhammer tournament. Just I went back home, saw family, my dog Choco. Reunion after 4 months. It was beautiful, and I dyed my hair red.
Yeah, this man was sending videos of him on the couch with his dog for hours on end.
It was heaven.
And it really brought a tear to my eye how much this man loves and missed his dog. It was like 3 hours. I'm just getting different videos of Choco.
Dude, I mean, it was. I am really sad that I can't bring him out here. It would not. I mean, maybe next year. Maybe things will be different, but he definitely would have a better time still with my dad and my brothers. But
No.
I missed that. I mean,
He seems like a great dog.
yeah, he's gonna turn 8 this year,
Oh.
and I've been with him since he was 6 weeks old. So,
Oh,
nice.
Well, I guess we can't really end on a better note than that. YouTube, that's Cubby Master 6. Twitch is where we record, mostly Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Pacific, sometimes elsewhere. You can find the podcast Raising NA on Apple, Google, and Spotify. That has been it from us. Thanks, guys. Good to be back. We'll see you again next week for the LCS preview.
Word.